Your shop looks so beautiful.
Thank you.
How's everything going?
Everything's good, especially now that I have this.
I know, right?
I know. Thank you so much for doing this. And also, your daughter continues to make my day with her cuteness.
Well, yes, she's very cute, but you're also not seeing the other side of this new phase of like 3-year-old. Do you remember the tantrum phase?
Oh my gosh, I do. I had to use like jujitsu moves to get my daughter into the car seat, chasing her around.
Yeah, it's really intense, but yeah, no, it's fun.
She's still cute anyway.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. So I'm Dara, I am founder of Ayla, and we have Kristina Holey here, who is the Director of Skin Health for Veronique. We are going to answer, well, Kristina, thank you, is going to answer all kinds of questions about body barrier emulsion. And before we start, I just want to say that our entire team loves this product. It is very rare that this happens. We have a lot of different opinions on our team, a lot of different skin types, and this is one that whenever anyone talks about it, it's with enormous amounts of love.
That's amazing. You know, it was a new thing for us to make something for the body, but you know, it seems to be the popular response because the body care industry is just not at the same level as it is for the face.
Yeah, exactly. So what prompted you all to enter into the body care category?
Well, you know, over the years, we've gotten so many requests. I think that as a reflection of what the, you know, body care industry has been historically, there's not a lot of very high quality products that make significant impact on skin health of the body. I think that also things are changing and people care more now. People are doing more like body treatments and red light treatment and all sorts of things to maintain skin health in their body and kind of counter the visible signs of aging. So we were definitely noticing this and paying attention to shift in the industry and thought that we were a very well-equipped team to come up with something, you know, along the same lines of how we think about our products in regards to skin health for the face. We thought about that for the skin of the body. So instead of just being a product for, you know, immediate comfort and something that, you know, you're not really looking for results, you're just looking for like a soothing effect after a shower, thinking of it more so as how can we make a difference and help make the skin on the body become healthier. You know, the skin on the body is significantly different than the face for many reasons because of the sebaceous gland activity and receptors, hormonal receptors, but also you know, it's a huge surface area that is exposed to environmental stressors, lots and lots of UV exposure. And then we're also, you know, taking hot showers and using soap and all these different body washes with fragrances. So there's kind of this like repeated assault on the body, on the skin on the body. So it was interesting to spend time with the team and like really looking at that and looking at, okay, what is the skin on the body face every single day, and how could we potentially compensate for all of that and help it heal itself and get to the next level of health, you know? So less about, yes, BBE does offer immediate comfort, but what I love about the product, and I know was all of our goals within Marie Veronique, was to create a product that made a difference.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome. And I want to dig into how it works and some of the benefits that people notice the most. I wanted to quickly mention, because I forgot to do this earlier, Eleanor, who is Marie Veronique's lead esthetician, is also on this live in the background. And so if you have any questions that you didn't submit before we started, she can answer those in the chat. So one thing that I wanted to first start off with, because you mentioned that I think the way that you talk about body barrier emulsion reminds me of the way that we think about barrier restore serum. And I think when I first heard about it, I thought, ooh, this is very similar to sort of, it's almost like I think of it as a barrier restore serum for the face, which I think to me, you guys, if I remember correctly, you launched this in 2016. It's still one of your top sellers for very good reason. I use it every single night. I think it's fantastic and kind of difficult to describe, but it seems to sort of do the same types of things for the face that you're describing body barrier emulsion does for the body. So what were some of the key things that you all were thinking of when you put this together?
Yeah, I mean, for the inspiration behind Barrier Restore Serum way back then, I mean, literally the term barrier layer wasn't being thrown out like it is now. You know, no one talks about that. But what we were dealing with, Marie and I, was this increase in what we would call now as barrier dysfunction. But I was working with a lot of clients with so much inflammation and dryness and basically just vulnerability, right? So if your skin barrier is compromised, you're so vulnerable to your environment and your food that you're eating, you know, your products that you're putting on your face, and so you can become very symptomatic. And so when working with a lot of symptomatic people, we came to the conclusion that the only way to really get to the other side was to look at the building blocks of barrier function and what makes the skin, AKA what makes the skin healthy, right? And so what that really comes down to is the water balance within the stratum corneum. So there's all these different components within that layer that create comfort or that plump appearance, but also create resilience and strength against inevitable stressors that can break you down, because the skin is your protective barrier, right? So you want it to be solid and healthy to protect you. So all of that being said, Barrier Restore Serum is so effective because it is really getting to the heart of the natural moisturizing factor, which creates that protective layer. So it is resupplying the skin with natural moisturizing factor, but it's also preventing loss of that. And in that you have a more compact skin structure, which protects you which protects the immune system from the external environment. So you're going to have, as a result, less inflammation and less symptoms, and increased comfort, which is what really people care about, and the skin will look better. There will be, you know, that hydration, and that water balance creates luminosity, as well as the lipid layer. It's very responsible for that glow. And so Barrier Restore Serum was the product for everybody across the board. Everyone needs to strengthen their barrier regardless of what they're working with. And so it was the product for people with acne, for mature aging skin, for rosacea, just to create that resilience. So it's the same thing goes for the body. Everyone complains about dry skin on their body, and that really comes down to natural moisturizing factor. And so we wanted to create something that was just as effective, but of course, kind of a different angle of formulation, at resolving that critical water balance so that the stratum corneum could be healthy and the skin could feel good. So another thing is looking at the biological changes of the skin. We do see a decrease in the body's natural ability to produce ceramides. And so the most exciting part of this product for us was to introduce certain bacterial species which help resolve that, which help compensate for that decline so that your body can do what it needs to do to create that healthy skin system. So that's the essence behind how it is going to get to the next level and resolve the dryness.
Yeah, that is, it's an important thing to remember. I think, like you said, barrier restore has become something, the term restoring one's barrier is something that has become sort of trendy, but it's important to sort of go into the mechanics of why it is so important. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
So should I dive into some of the questions that we got?
Sure, yeah.
So one of them was, what makes this product different from all the other body care products on the market? And I think you answered that just now in part, but is there anything else that in your view makes it particularly unique?
Yeah, there's some additional details I could throw in there. And I'm sorry, I feel like there's an echo and I hope it's not annoying to people, but anyways, so.
Yeah, I noticed that too, I don't know what it's from.
Okay. First of all, a big difference, of course, I don't know everything that's on the market, but from what I do know is, across the board, whether it's clean or not clean, there is a tendency for body care products to contain a lot of like filler ingredients. So like skin stabilizers or thickening agents, things to create a really good emulsion. Which is that like creamy texture that you're wanting from like a body lotion. And then of course, very aggressive preservative agents. So what you're getting is a bottle of a lot of ingredients that don't really influence skin health, that are just creating like a texture and a stable product. And that's not very interesting to us, right? So we want to be very strategic in what we're including within a formulation so that it's all contributing to making the skin healthier. And also not doing anything adverse to the microflora on the skin. So being very sensitive about preservatives and stabilizers and things like that. So this product is, I think, very cool and innovative in the sense that every single ingredient, even the preservatives and the emulsifying agents, are going to make the skin healthier and feel better.
Yeah, it's very cool how short this ingredient list is.
Yeah.
I love that.
Things are changing in the world of formulation, and we have such a wonderful team in our lab and full quality control because we make everything in-house and we have very sophisticated techniques for creating emulsions. So honestly, we wouldn't have been able to do this product years ago, but now we have the ability. And so it was really fun to kind of see through that process and be able to be so confident on the quality.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just in case you're gonna turn, we have some like light classical music in the background. I don't think it's causing the funny noise, but we'll see.
I hear.
So related to this, and related to your comment about the texture, is that it's not an oil, which is something that I wanted to dig into a little bit because I think it's an important point and a really great selling point for this product in my view.
Totally. You know, so I've always been such a big like oil and balm fan, just like all over my body. But the reality of that is that you cannot get dressed immediately after that. You have to like walk around in your underwear until it's penetrated, otherwise you're ruining all your clothes. So it was important to have something where you could feel like you could apply a very generous amount to satisfy your needs, but then it would penetrate quickly and feel light and not like sticky, tacky, occlusive, and you could put on your clothes and not ruin them.
Yeah. Because even, you know, I found that sometimes when people use oils, like at night, it's not a big deal. But if they use oils during the day and they don't wait long enough before they get dressed, the oils really do sort of like seep into the fibers of their clothing and, you know, it can stretch them out. It's kind of a problem. So I love that this one does not have that issue.
I know. I feel like everything in my world has a little bit of like a tinge of oil on it. Like all the like neck lines of my shirt.
Yeah.
You know.
I know.
But also we wanted to take into consideration acidity of the skin, right? So because many people are applying a lotion or an oil after the shower and you take a hot shower, there's a likeliness that your pH is going to be bumped up a little bit and become more alkaline. And with that, you are more prone to increased water loss and further dehydration and inflammation. So what I see in myself and in clients is a huge change if you promote acid balance and decrease the pH of the skin on the body post shower to resolve that water loss and dryness. And so, you know, this product has a low pH. I think it averages at about 4, which is what we really want. You know, the skin wants to be acidic. Acidic skin, we know, ages slower, is healthier, has less inflammation. So we wanted something that would help promote that balance.
And do you suggest applying it to skin that's dry or damp or wet, or how should we be thinking about that?
No, I use it as like a hand cream throughout the day. So that's just like on dry hands, but I also use it after the shower. So that's on damp skin. If you're feeling like really indulgent, and I do this because I feel like shaving my legs makes my skin really dry, and I'm one of the only people remaining who hasn't done laser hair removal, but
I haven't.
so I'm still like a shaver, and I just don't, I hate that dryness and like the ashiness that comes with that. And so what I do after the shower on damp skin is I do balancing hypotonic to balance the acid mantle of the skin and bring in that acidity, and then coat it with the body barrier emulsion. And that, I feel like that's really transformed my skin, and I just don't get that dryness anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So walk me through the process, and I can also I can do a little demo if you want to walk me through that. I wore a T-shirt so that I'd be ready, so I can do it on, you know, my scaly elbows or something.
Yeah, let's do it. So
what kind of blew my mind was when you wrote, it was in a recent email, you were writing about the hypotonic, which also has been a long-time bestseller and is such an amazing product. So I normally apply this with a cotton pad, but you suggest putting it in the hands and then applying it that way.
Yeah. So the inspiration behind that email, which I'm so glad we actually did that, was
Yeah.
I was noticing that a lot of clients were thinking about the hypotonic almost as like a cleansing step, or more of this like purifying process of the skin. With you saturate the cotton pad and you like swipe it across the face and then you feel like really clean, and that is not at all the intention of the product.
Okay.
So the product is meant to restore the fundamental requirements of having a healthy acid mantle so that we can retain that water balance and retain that acidic balance. So we want the product to get into the skin. That's how it's going to work and make a difference. And so I noticed that when I would tell clients, okay, forgo the cotton pad, just pour it in your hand and press it into the skin, they would come back and be like, oh my God, my skin has totally changed. So that's why we put that email out, because we wanted to start, to try to educate again about how to really get the most benefits from the product.
Okay. So I'm going to try this on my arm.
Okay.
You tell me how much to use. Also, for everyone who's watching, we've got, looks like maybe 7 minutes left.
You know what? You should try it on your chest because you need your hands, and it's going to be...
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, just pour it into your hands, and then you can kind of like press it into your neck and chest.
Okay. Take this off. So before I forget, before we end at 1:30, we're gonna do a live drawing for 3 winners of the Body Barrier Emulsion.
Ooh,
so
how
much of this should I put in?
I just do like a little, like a little quarter size or something.
Okay, yeah, this is like maybe a quarter teaspoon.
Yeah.
Okay, and then rub it in my hands.
And then press, or next, sorry. Yeah, and so a good gauge is that your skin should not feel tight after you do this. It should feel like plump and damp.
Yeah.
And if it feels tight, you can just do it again.
I'm going to start doing this every day because I neglect my neck.
Can't neglect your neck.
I know. Yeah, it does. I was afraid it would feel sticky, but it doesn't. It feels just like hydrated.
Yeah. It should, sometimes that like tacky, hydrated feeling is really good, and it'll absorb. And then, so immediately now, you pour a little bit of Body Barrier Emulsion into your hands, like same amount. Yeah, I can't see, but.
I was fearful, so I did a little bit less.
Okay, and then, start to massage that in.
Okay. It feels really nice.
You haven't been doing it wrong. It's totally awesome to do it with a cotton pad also. I just wanted to encourage people to think more about getting it into the skin rather than swiping it. So the cotton pad is also an effective way. You can put it on the cotton pad and press it into the skin like that, and you're still going to get a good delivery into the skin. So no one have any regrets.
This feels great. And I love having a new way to use the hypotonic. I love using these two together.
Yeah, so I mean, that is such a vulnerable area right here because we're just always getting blasted with UV, and so, and also like just hot air, dry air, it's just much more exposed than other parts of your body. So you want to make sure that there is that protective, strong barrier.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna, for comparison, put it on my hand, which is dry. And it still rubs in beautifully, but it feels different when you're rubbing it on dry skin versus the hypotonic skin.
The same thing with all of our serums and oils. It feels better if the skin is damp. If you prep the skin water and then some of the tonic or the probiotic mist or the treatment mist. It pulls the serums in.
Yeah. This just feels so lovely. So another thing that I was excited about with the body barrier emulsion is we have a lot of customers with eczema and similar skin conditions.
Yeah.
And did you have those people in mind when you all created this?
Totally, because what you see with eczema is breakdown of that stratum corneum. So there's going to often be less natural moisturizing factor, less ceramide production, and also many people with eczema have something called a filaggrin deficiency. Filaggrin is kind of this like structural protein that holds things together within the stratum corneum. So if we don't have that, it all kind of falls apart and you get this leaky barrier. So you're very vulnerable to your environment or products or food, things like that, because everything can kind of come through to the immune system. So by stimulating the natural production of ceramides, that's going to support natural moisturizing factor and the integrity of that layer and offer more comfort, first of all, but more protection as well. And hopefully, no one wants a leaky barrier. That's very true. It's honestly what people don't talk about, like 60% or more of food-based allergies is because of the skin.
Really?
Yeah, it's not just from what we're eating. It's from activation, sensitization via the dermal layer from leaky skin.
That is so interesting. And then I think what else is really the other thing that I think is cool about this for those people who do have eczema or conditions where they're used to using really heavy creams sometimes. It's nice that this feels so light, so it doesn't matter. Like, it feels comfortable using it during the summer. It just seems like it's a very smart formula.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't do much in the big picture if you're just creating an occlusive layer.
Yeah.
You need it to integrate and you need to fulfill the requirements underneath and create the stability of the structure rather than just a temporary cover.
So my mind is still kind of blown by what you said about the food allergies and the skin. So I might.
Well, food allergies go hand in hand often. So yeah, but it is interesting. You gotta bolster that layer.
So before we do the exciting live drawing, is there anything else that you want to tell us about body barrier emulsion or anything else skin health related?
I mean, I think it's really exciting that people are starting to take more care of the skin on their body. I think that the feedback we've been getting is exciting, that, there's less of the discomfort. So for me, I've always been most concerned with like symptomatic skin, and wanting people to achieve health. And so I love this product for that, because that's the focus first and foremost is skin health, and it's consistent with the rest of our products, and it's also a product for everybody. I put this on my toddler, on my husband, on myself, and we all kind of need this sort of support. So yeah, I hope, I'm glad to hear everyone with you likes it, but I hope people continue to learn about it and try it and shift the way they think about body care.
Yeah. I also, one last plug for it from my perspective is, I think one thing that we've heard from a lot of people too is they use it and they can feel that their skin is still hydrated the next day. So a little bit goes a long way. You can use it on isolated areas or all over your body. So it's really nice. It's very flexible. I think it's also a really good value from that standpoint.
Totally. Well, especially if you think about like the compounding effect.
Yeah, just the way that it all works. So should we do our live drawing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, thank you. Serena has been writing down the names or the Instagram names of everyone who's joined. And we have 3 bottles to give away. So I will, there are a lot in here. Okay. The first one is Claudia Arballo. Congratulations, Claudia. This is yours. We'll get that out to you. Second is Anna Lala. Yay, Anna Lala, you get one too. Okay. Last one. Joanna. Joarabeske. I'm not gonna look at that. This is yours. Yay!
That's awesome.
Well,
you guys are so generous.
Thank you so much, Kristina, for spending this time with us. We love this. I think it's like the perfect, if I had to imagine a Veronique body care product, it would be this one in the best way possible. I think it's awesome.
Thank you. I'm so glad. I mean, it means a lot that you like, you're not the easiest person to please.
I love it all.
Well, it was really good to see you. I miss you, and thank you for supporting. And anybody that has more questions, we're here for you. So drop us an email if you need more information.
Thank you, Kristina.
All right, bye.
Bye.